Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting LEGO update. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to be finishing my 2023 Winter Village. I mean, it's looking pretty good, but I still think it's lacking some detail. So today I'm going to start by adding some of those details to the ski slope. First things first, I've got to lay a ton of 1x2 slopes. When I was at the Lego store the other day, I found them on the pad wall. And I was like, oh man, do you have any in the back? They're like, oh yeah, we do. They whipped out an entire case of them. So I bought 2 cups. Why not, right? Like, I'm going to need these for the Winter Village. That's how you can create some pretty cool snow detail. So I'm putting them all along the fence because it's like a snow fence, right? The wind blows all the snow and it sort of piles up along the fence. And I'm also putting some in the treed areas as well. Now I realize the ski slope has a lot of like studs and a lot of smooth finish areas. And I don't really know how to texture that because it's a run. So like, for the most part, when you're looking at a ski slope, it's not really textured. It's a nice groomed surface. But around the edges of the ski hill, where we have the train tracks, so like on the exterior perimeter, I'm able to add a whole bunch of snow detailing there because that sort of makes sense. And I can also put it up against the snow fence by the chairlift as well. However, I've got to make sure that the chairs don't actually hit those slopes because it doesn't have a whole lot of clearance. Now, I put this massive Christmas tree in the corner there the other day just because I couldn't really find a good spot for it anywhere in the village, just because it's way too big. But now I'm thinking, well, maybe I can add all of these slopes around this Christmas tree and sort of lock it in place, and it might look pretty good. So I'm running the slopes around the entire perimeter there, and I think it takes those regular white plates that are just all studs and sort of transforms them into some really nice snow detail. So I also built these little human tunnel entrances. You can see one on the top of the screen there. I've decided that I'm actually going to relocate that and put it over here. It's going to be a little bit longer of a walk for the minifigs, but it actually makes more sense because it's going to be right by the chalet door now. And it's also pretty close to the chairlift. Also, by relocating it, it opens up that space over there, and I plan to do something pretty cool with it. So I just pop out some of the plates, relocate that tunnel entrance, and then rebuild the mills plates around it. So once the mills plates are rebuilt, it's time to add some snow texturing with more 1x2 slopes. Yay! I pretty much used an entire freezer bag today. Yeah, it's crazy, but I think it improves the look substantially. Like, I think it's night and day compared to what it looked like before. So I add some slopes around that little tunnel entrance, and then I also add some more slopes up against the chairlift fence. Now around the chairlift, it's a little bit studdish. Maybe I need to lay some tile there. That might look pretty cool, but I decided to put some 1x2 slopes between the 2 chairs. But maybe now that I think about it when I'm doing this voiceover, maybe tile would be the way to go because it looks like it's packed snow after a snowboarder or a skier has sort of ridden over it. Okay, so this is where that little tunnel entrance used to be. My plan is to do something with this snow groomer right here. So snow groomers, they sort of collect snow, right? So I'm going to lay a whole bunch of slopes by the train track, and then I'm going to lay some bricks behind the chalet. Then I'm going to build a big mound of snow, as if that snow groomer has sort of been collecting snow and piling it up on the side of the chalet because he's got nowhere better to put it. So there you go. Now we've got a giant mountain of snow right beside the chalet. That snow groomer's just been moving it out of the way so people can actually walk around. Too much fresh powder. Not only do I want to add texture to the ski hill today, but I also want to add texture to the other parts of the Winter Village, just because, once again, it transforms that stud look that's created from the plates and makes it look a little bit better, in my opinion. So we've got this pathway here that's created using the quarter round dark gray tiles. Well, where there's snow, I'm actually going to transform it into slopes. I just think that makes more sense. And then what I'm going to do is leave some of it as studs. And that's sort of where people have been walking. I'm also going to fix the pathway as well because it comes right up to the edge of the table. So I just want to flip those plates around, relocate some of those quarter round slopes. And then once again, I'm able to lay slopes on the edge of the table, giving more of that snow texture. So I just think it's going to look a little bit more authentic. It's going to give us something nicer to look at, right? I think the more parts that you use in this circumstance, the better it's going to turn out. And you betcha, I'm going to do the exact same thing over here where we have the skating rink. There's like 2 studs of clearance there, and I just think it frames this whole area nicely. So I'm going to lay 2 studs of slopes all the way across by the skating rink and up against the concrete wall. And also back here behind the Elf Clubhouse and right on the base of Santa Claus's Mountain, there's some ugly gray studs. No, that's got to be snow covered. So I'm going to lay some white plate there and then some 2x white bricks as well and cover this with slopes so it's just like another mound of snow. And we may as well do pretty much the exact same thing to Santa Claus's Mountain. There's not a whole lot of open studs here, but there's some on like the rock edge, and I want to add some 1x2 slopes there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on top of Santa Claus's Mountain, and we're actually going to add some slopes behind Santa's workshop. I forgot to tighten my tripod, that's why it's drooping down. We're going to fix that. But yeah, I think it's just going to add some texture to these open studs. And once again, I've almost used an entire freezer bag. I might have to go back to the Lego store and get some more slopes because they're sort of in season right now. I think there's a reason why they have 1x2 white slopes on the wall, right? Because there's snow on the ground. It's sort of in season. Oh yeah, there's also this little concrete spot over here beside the Alpine Lodge that doesn't look good at all. Okay, I'm going to cover up some of those light gray studs with white, of course, right? There's going to be more snow over here. Also, I'm going to add a snowman. And then I'm going to add some white plate to the concrete as well, a whole bunch of slopes to give it some more texture, and I want to build a cool story with this snowman. So I'm actually going to use Poe Dameron and also C-3PO, and look, C-3PO is putting on the nose of the snowman. He's got the carrot in his hand. I also need to fix up my chairlift because technically it's going the wrong way. In order to do that, I need to flip my chairs so that they face the opposite direction. So what I need to do is just remove all of these chairs and flip them like I did with this one here. It's a pretty simple change, but it might take a little bit of effort. Not too much effort though, and it's going to look more authentic because now when minifigures get on the chairlift, they're actually going to be going this way rather than this way around the wheel. Just makes a lot more sense. So I wanted to try and time-lapse this process of me fixing the chairlift, so I decided to fix 2 or 3 of them while I was working down there on camera, and I was like, you know what, this doesn't need to be on time-lapse. I'll fix up this chairlift and then I'll show you the end result. Because I plan on doing one other thing to the chairlift as well, which is fixing up that ugly beam that's built using the lift arms. I'm really happy that I was able to make those changes to the chairlift just because now skiers and snowboarders are actually going to be boarding the chair and making their way up the hill the correct way. It just makes more sense. I also went around and added some tiles to some of those open studs, and I think it actually looks pretty cool. I might add a bunch more, but there's some tiles there and some tiles right there below the chairlift as well. I just think that looks sort of authentic. It's like packed or sort of smooth snow. I was able to make one other change to the chairlift, and once again, that is that Technic lift arm support beam. Now, before I show you that, I just want to say that I know a lot of people have been telling me to put a support beam here and also a support beam here because that's how chairlifts actually are. But I think that's going to sort of take away from it just because there's 2 support beams rather than 1. Also, there's not really a good spot to put it there. So I decided to just put the support beam in the middle. But I gave it a nice upgrade. Before this, it was just like a stack of bricks. Here's a closer look at that base. Yeah, I just built it using some slopes and I attached it using a snot brick. And then there's just some brick above and below that. Also some plate on the top just to get the spacing correct. And then a jumper to center the beam that actually supports the chairlift. So the beam, which is built using Technic lift arms, just come off the center of that 1x4 Technic brick, which has a plate on the bottom of it and also a tile just to get at the right spacing. And then the Technic lift arms have also been improved. What I decided to do was just alternate brackets back and forth, add a layer of plate, and then tile it off. It just cleans it up a bit. Unfortunately, the lift arms are different colors. One's light gray and one's white. That's all I have. But at least the addition of the dark gray parts sort of hides that fact. So I'm pretty happy that I was able to make those upgrades to the support pillar. I hope the lift arms aren't too wide now. Like, it's only 1 plate, but maybe the chairs are going to run into it. But one thing I know for sure is if skiers and snowboarders run into the base of it, they're going to be a little bit safer. Let's try and fire this up. I think some of them might actually collide with those brackets, which is not good because I like the look of that. Like, I think it's a pretty cool upgrade. That one made it. Okay, it's really close though. Oh, maybe I'll have to flip those brackets, tiles, and plates to the interior, but then it's not going to decorate the exterior, which was sort of my goal, right? I think it looks pretty cool though. Glad that the chairlift is operating smoothly. We've got the beam installed. They're flipped the right way. Plus, I added some additional details over here as well. Check it out. On the end of our moguls and jump, I added a little handrail and also a box. So the terrain park has some new features. So we're getting there, but there's still one more detail that I want to add to the ski slope, and that is more trees. So we have these saplings, which are pretty good, but nothing too crazy, right? I'm thinking these snot trees that I came up with the other day will make a great addition to this hill. However, I'll have to add some white plate, maybe some white curved slopes, maybe a white cheese slope on the top for snow detail. But if I get some of these larger trees on the ski slope and maybe around the ski slope, I think that'll sort of add some more color and make it look better than it already does. So I built 16 of the snot trees, and the cool thing about these is they're pretty much from parts from the pad wall, right? I guess there's a few parts that didn't come from the pad wall, but here you go. You've got some snot bricks in the interior, along with some brick, some 2x2 plate, 2x2 jumper, a 4-sided snot brick on the top, a little 2x2 circular reddish brown brick on the bottom there, and you've got some pretty cool looking trees, right? Yeah, I think those are going to add some life to the winter village and just the ski slope. And then also some lights as well. You're going to be able to go skiing at night when we install these. So there's the 2x2 circular bricks that create the tower part. There's a axle running through those, so it's nice and strong. On the top, you've got one of those like T-brackets, I guess I'll call it. Also a hinge, and then a 1x8 plate, and then some jumpers and the 2x2 circular tiles with the hole and those circular trans yellow pieces to give that authentic light look. So 16 trees and 3 lights. Unfortunately, these yellow pieces are in short supply, so these ones over here are trans clear. Something else I want to do quickly is actually upgrade my Santa Claus. Like, look at this guy. He's got the dual molded legs with the black boots. He's got the nice list, and then he's got the candy cane in the back. That is much better than this Santa Claus here. There we go. That's much better. The ski hill gobbled up 15 of the 16 trees that I made there. Holy smokes. But I think those trees do add some nice color. They're pretty big, but they don't overpower the ski hill. Like, I wouldn't want to go any bigger than that, because then you have trees that are literally the size of your slope. But yeah, I put some right there. There's one over here by one of the lights that was installed, and then they sort of make their way down the mountain as well. The other 2 lights, we got one right there and one over there. Maybe what I should do is add some lights to the supported bar of the chairlift. Like, you could add some lights there as well, so they're sort of projecting on the center of the hill. That might make sense. And then you can, of course, add some lights to the top and the bottom of the chair. But those are details that it's nothing too crazy. I think we sort of get the point, and this place is looking pretty good. There is one detail that I want to add though, and that is signage, like the run names and also the difficulties. I actually already designed the signs upstairs on Photoshop, and then I went to print them and realized that I was out of color ink. They were printing all in blue. That doesn't make any sense. I can't have a blue circle to indicate a green circle run. So I actually ordered some more ink, and hopefully it arrives tomorrow. Here's all the signage that I built using custom stickers. Made the documents on Photoshop, transferred them to Word, printed them on stickers, packed and taped over top of them, cut them out, applied them to tiles. So these are the runs. We've got Burp Cliffs, Hell's Kitchen, which is my favorite run, I think of all time maybe. Also Brick Slopes, the Brick Board Park, Plate Way, Stud Way, Steep Bricks, and then there's also the Keep Tips Up sign for the chairlift, and the raised bar sign there, 2 caution signs for the cliffs, and then the ski area boundary not patrolled. So some pretty cool signs that are going to add some nice details to the ski hill. I went ahead and added all that signage and updated some of the stories here on the ski hill, and oh my gosh, with that, the 2023 Winter Village is complete. As you can imagine, I'm pretty excited because my vision for this village has taken a couple months, but oh my gosh, it's finally here, and I'm really happy with the outcome of it. So let's take a look at the ski hill, and then we'll also have a look at the rest of the winter village. You can come up the chairlift and you can get off this way and take the Plateway Green Run, or you can go this way toward the brick board park. If you opt in to go on the green run, no worries. You still got an option right here, which is a double black diamond Hell's Kitchen. Ooh, it's one of my favorite runs from Sunshine Village. A lot of trees there. It's a little bit dangerous. As you come down this green run, just make sure you stay within the boundaries because you're right on the edge of those boundaries, and these orange signs are going to let you know not to cross those boundaries because they're not patrolled by a ski patrol. They've got some trees and a light right there on the corner and some more of those orange signs along this fence. Gets a little bit steep there, might be some ice, so be a little bit cautious, and definitely don't go past this red fence there. There is a caution sign. Looks like my chairlift just stopped. Uh-oh. Give it a little bit of a hand there. Oh, there we go. Perfect. But you also can go down right here, which is the Brick Slopes run. That's a black diamond. It gets a little bit steep there, and there's a bunch of powder. Or you can continue down the hill through here, go down the steep Bricks Blue run. You can hang a right and go down the Stud run and make your way back to the chairlift. Now, if you opted in to go in the board park way, you can also do that, no problem. Hopefully this thing's not running out of batteries. Maybe I need to amp up the speed of it. Don't worry, chairlifts just stop from time to time. Somebody must have just fallen when they got off the chairlift. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, you can come down this run, hit the jump or the moguls, then you can hit the rail or the box there, which is pretty cool. Just don't hit that, it might hurt. And if you want, when you come through off these moguls here, you can actually hang a right and hit some cliffs. This is where we have the burp cliffs. Pardon the sound of the motor there. Yeah, it might need some WD-40 or something on it. But you can hit the burp cliffs like this guy there in the green. This lady attempted to hit the burp cliffs, but it was a little bit too difficult for her. Oh my gosh, she is tumbling down the mountain. That is not good at all. This guy over here is like a professional. Look at all that air that he's got. He's just whipping down the hill, no problem. Forgot to mention that this guy is like, hey, look at you, you fell, burn on you. He's smiling at her. It must be all good. Don't worry, she's not injured. So the ski hill looks pretty good. I was happy that I was able to add all the signage, the additional trees, and then all of the slopes as well. Really like the addition of all of this slope detail here. That is nice. Also this big mound of snow. And then all of the slope work back here as well. I added one of those trees right there. There is a little skidoo right there. And then over here, there's a couple people that are doing some snowshoeing right by the Christmas tree. And this is all textured in here now as well. I was able to add some of those white 1x4 tiles. So there we have the nice ski hill. It's my first ever ski hill. Really happy with it. There's been a lot of trial and error in regards to the ski hill. That motor is officially making like an ear-piercing sound, so I'm actually going to turn that off. Yeah, there might need to be some lubrication that has to happen there maybe. I forgot to point out there is two signs right here as you make your way up the chairlift. There's the keep tips up and also the raise the bar sign right there. So when you make your way to the top of the chairlift, make sure to keep your skis up pointed so you don't fall, and also remember to raise that safety bar. So there we go. We've got the ski hill. Pretty happy with that. Let's have a look at the village and also Santa Claus's mountain. There we go. Now there's no noise. All right, I'm not going to refilm this for the third or fourth time, I think it was. We're good. Let's move on, right? But the chairlift is back up and operational, and it's not piercing our ears. Also down here, there's a nice little ski rack and the Winter Village Chalet. If you want to go into the chalet, feel free to do so to warm up. Maybe grab some coffee or something like that. And you can also make your way through the tunnel to the Winter Village right here. So this tunnel services both the Winter Village and the ski hill. And then right here, when you come out of the tunnel, we've got this nice little fireplace or fire pit right here where you can join everybody and just have some fun. Got another one of those snow-covered trees, and there's all the texturing that we did today as well. The snowball fight, snowballs being lobbed through the air there. The nice pathway that leads past the tree farm where you can buy your trees. You can also keep an eye out for this wizard right there and check out this lady who's actually doing some ice sculptures. You can buy some, I think we decided that it was sweet potato in the comment section from the last video where I was talking about the Winter Village. And then you can have a bunch of fun on the skating rink all sorts of people skating around with their hockey sticks, playing some hockey, or just having a good time. For example, this family right there taking a picture. We got some snow-covered trees around here as well. And then, of course, we have all of the mini modular buildings up top here. There's the little story that we added with C-3PO and Poe Dameron. They're building a little snowman there. And then there is the Alpine Lodge, which is a rebrickable model. So it's the extra large version of that, which has been doubled up. I was also able to complete the Christmas lights today as well. I found more of these 1x1 modified plates with the clip. So now we were able to add the Christmas lights on top of those street lamps. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then there is the Santa's Visit set, the Winter Village Fire Station, the Holiday Main Street. Those are the two sets from these are the two buildings from the original set. And then we have the two custom ones here as well. All of these buildings have been customized with the closed backs though. So everything has a closed back. Classically, when these sets come from the Lego store and you build them out of the package, they have an open back. So I was glad to get those closed up. And then there's the two Harry Potter sets, which of course is Honeydukes and the 3 broomsticks. And then there's minifigures walking all over the place there. The retaining wall built with the masonry bricks has a bunch of snow piled up in front of it. And then it has a nice fence bordering it as well with the evenly distributed lamp posts. And then on top of the fence, there is some snow. Over here, we have the gingerbread house and also the elf clubhouse. And of course, you can make your way between those two and start to make your way up to Santa Claus's Mountain. Santa Claus's Mountain, snow covered, that's for sure. You can just come up these stairs here, which are nicely railinged off using the gold chain, and then you can meet Mrs. Claus. Oh, I forgot to change Mrs. Claus. Oh no, that was not good. I removed the top half of her body. Okay, Mrs. Claus is currently upstairs. Don't mind what just happened there. But we've got the elves right here. Also the reindeer. They've been making some snowmen just hanging out there. You can continue to make your way up to the top of Santa Claus's Mountain, where you can actually meet the updated Santa Claus. And there's the actual Mrs. Claus. She was just busy making some cookies. She's about to make her way back down to the first photo op there. Yeah, so there we have the Winter Village, everybody. It's completed. I'm glad that I was able to add the snow details here today and just refresh some of the stories on the ski hill side of it as well. And also there with C-3PO, some Star Wars Easter eggs as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That is the Winter Village. Just for the outro here, we may as well see if we can get this chairlift going again. Did it stop? Oh, there we go. It didn't stop. No, it's working 100%. Don't worry about that. Looks pretty cool though. Hey, thank you so much for coming on by. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I sure had a great time working on this project over the last couple months. And it's super cool. I love this angle. I never really show this angle, but you can sort of see the entire thing. Pretty big, right? When I'm sort of like going through it part by part, you don't really see it in its entirety. And there it is. Hey, thank you so much. Have yourselves a fantastic day and farewell.